Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Alexandra, for reminding us.
Thank you. That's awesome. Okay, so today on the schedule, we're going to have a meditation, a nice meditation of reconciliation. So the reason we're doing this is because before we do our self-image uh, transformation, I want you to reconcile with yourself things from the past and keep an open heart and an open mind because that's part of healing and that's part of moving forward. Okay, so this is a non judgmental space, no criticism, no judgment. When I put you through the exercises, I will have you look into your life and it's going to cause you to look into the past. And so when you're doing this work, it has to be done in a non critical, complete compassionate position. Okay, so hold that space for yourself um, and be open, be completely open to your experience. You may connect with yourself in a way you never have been, and that's good. And it's amazing. You may become emotional during the session, and that's also fine. This is an open space. We're here to hold space for you and honor you during this process. So feel free to be you in this process. Okay, so let's go. The first thing I want you to do, of course, is to relax into your chair wherever you are. And we're going to start with our meditation. Okay, so anyone who's not done meditation before, don't worry, it's really easy. Just listen to my voice and just follow my lead and just do as I tell you, and you're going to be really fun. You're going to be good. Okay, so everyone, you can shut your cameras off, get comfortable, relax, make sure you're solid in your seat so that you don't get distracted by anything that's unstable. Because I want you to be completely focused. Okay. So, with your eyes closed, I want you to take 3 cleansing breaths. Breathe in on the count of 4. Hold as long as you could, and then breathe out again, the count of 4. Now, I want you to picture yourself in a room that you like. It could be your bedroom, any room where you feel safe. Now, this room has a door that's closed. I want you to move easily to this door and slowly open it. As you open the door, you're welcomed by this beautiful garden. It is the most spectacular garden you have ever seen in your life. It is full of flowers, beautiful vegetation. It's got butterflies, ladybugs, dragonflies flying around. You get to hear the birds singing. You can see the sun being filtered through the trees. There's a little stream. You could hear the water trickling. Move into this garden. Love the wonder that you have before you. It is the most amazing space. And in the space, you feel safe, peaceful, and tranquil. Now, I want you to stare forward and into the distance, and you'll see a figure. I want you to approach this figure. This figure sees you too and is waiting for you. They will take you 10 steps to get to this person. So I will count to 10, and by the time I reach 10, you will be face to face with this person. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This person before you is you. You in the most raw form. You in the most vulnerable, true version of you. There's no fake smile, no fake laugh. It is you with all your feelings. It is you with all your love. It is you with everything that you have ever experienced. All the words that you've never said and spoken, this person is holding those words. All the feelings you've never expressed, this person is holding it before you. All the anger you've ever had that no one knows about, all the sadness, all the grief that you've ever had, this person holds it. This version of you is raw and is holding everything that the world does not know about. Only you. And you are staring at this version of you with full compassion, with full love, with full acceptance. There is no hatred here. There is no resentment here. There's only love and compassion. See yourself with only love. Acknowledge all the pain. Acknowledge everything that you've hidden from the world. Acknowledge everything that you've held back from yourself. And as you see yourself in this most vulnerable, open condition, I want you to say the following phrases to this version of you. And I want you to repeat them in your mind as I say them. Address yourself by your name. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I want you to embrace this version of you with only love. Now, with full acceptance and forgiveness, I want you to fuse with this version of you. And I want you to return to your room that you originally came from. And when you're ready, you may come back into the Zoom room. Cindy, can we have a little music just before we start again? Just to Hey, so I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all doing well. I'm going to now move forward with the next exercise, and that is to do a little review. So if you all have a piece of paper open, or you can type on your computers or laptops, I want you to take a quick evaluation of your current life, where you are right now. Okay. And without judgment, again, I want to remind you, no judgment, no criticism to yourself, and just name the things that are happening in your life that you feel have been long overdue to be changed and you're not happy with. Could be two or three things. Okay, everybody good? Everyone's got two or three things down? Cindy, am I going too fast? Did you have two or three things? I'm going to gauge by you. Missy Alexandra's still working. Give you a little more time.
Two or three things that we're not satisfied with that we want to change. Is that it?
Yes. Something in your life, either you look at your life right now, right? Could be your health, could be your relationships, where you live, where you work, how you, um, your daily routine, how you interact with people, how you talk, um, anything in your life, anything at all. And then I will resume with what the topic of the day is, and then relate back to why I had you do this. You good?
I wrote my
Okay.
three items.
You want your three things? Okay. So maybe some of you may not have thought of the third or second, but I'm going to keep talking about the self-image. So self-image is not exactly your mirror. Like, when you look in the mirror and you say, just look at your face and your body, and that's your self-image. It's not what I'm referring to. It is how you view yourself. Okay. Um, So how you view yourself is what you believe yourself to be. Every belief that you have about life and how you fit into life and who you are is your self-image. So for instance, um, some people think they are too tall for something, too tall, too skinny, too not, or not intelligent enough, not worthy of happy relationships because someone told them that they're a bad person. um Anything. I mean, you've heard it all kinds of, I mean, in movies you've seen these kind of scenes where people are bullied, let's say, in a schoolyard, or they come from abusive and not very healthy family scenarios. We are constantly being fed things, and when you adopt these ideas, you actually live out those ideas. So if you've learned in life, let's say, um, you need to make people happy, otherwise they're not going to like you and you're not worthy of their friendship or love, then your narrative is going to be, I have to please people all the time in order to be likable and lovable. All these things that you have in your mind, they are ideas. They are stories you've told yourself, and then you live out these ideas. Everything about your self-image actually is played out in your life. So that's why I had you do the exercise of the self-image. If you look at your life and how you live, you are playing out your truth. So whatever you believe, you live to confirm your belief, right? Because we need to be right all the time. What we believe to be true. So we need to live out everything that gives us evidence that what we believe is the truth. So let's say a young man believes that he is not intelligent enough, not good looking enough to deserve a loving relationship with someone. He will behave in ways that will sabotage those relationships. It might go well in the beginning, and then when it gets really good, he might start acting up in ways that causes the other person to get angry with them very often, be hurt by them very often, and eventually leave them. Because he has to live out the truth of not being lovable. So this is the self-image aspect. How you see yourself is how you will demonstrate your life. And the great thing about these ideals, right, when they're programmable, is that they can be reprogrammed. This is the thing that I love the most about the self-image thing that I wish I'd known a long time ago, because if I'd known the things that I had adopted through my youth, that I have the power to change. So you're not stuck for your whole life being a certain way. You oh, I don't like this, and I'm going to be like this my whole life, or these things are going to be part of my life forever, and then feel powerless and doomed. You're not doomed. You have the power as an adult to change. So I'll give you a really good example. This is when I was a child. I used to drink from a baby bottle up until I started school. So I love drinking milk from a bottle before I went to bed and during the night. So I would sleep literally with a bottle in my mouth. And when I woke up in the morning, the bottle would be hanging from my lips. And my mom would put like two bottles on a shelf by my bed. I had a shelf behind me. I literally unconsciously would reach back, grab the milk, plug it in my mouth, and drink during the night. And I was very, very obese as a child. I was so obese, like I could barely walk without wearing out my pants because my thighs were so fat and it was so tight that space. I would wear out my pants within like 2 weeks from the inside. I would need new clothes. And I remember when I started school, I looked around and I said, none of these kids drink from a baby bottle anymore. I'm the only one that still drinks from a baby bottle. So that very day when I went home, I said to myself, I still remember this. I am a big girl now. Big girls do not drink from baby bottles. And from 5 years of drinking milk from a bottle, I quit cold turkey that night because I adopted a new self-image. My new self-image is I'm a big girl now. I go to school. And the idea that big girls that go to school don't drink from baby bottles was now me. I don't drink from baby bottles. I'm no longer a baby. So this is the kind of thing that can happen for anyone. And there's an idea that some habits take a long time to change. The truth is that if you make a decision for something and it's important enough to you, you could flip that switch really, really quickly. The resistance comes from resistance exists, and a lot of our habits, they're linked to many different things. And if there are other things that you're not also working on releasing, some habits are really more difficult to release. But it's not that you can't release it, it's the decision to release it. So let's say, for instance, another example of where your self-image, the ideals, they're just ideals, is when you're in emergency. All that chatter of self-image literally shuts up when you got to jump into action. So they're just ideas that we feed ourselves. It's a self-talk. It's a story we tell ourselves day in and day out. And they're not set in stone, so you can always change them. So I'll give you an example. I'm sitting here in front of you right now and I'm a coach, but my background is I come from a family of 6 kids, and my parents are, not educated. They came to Canada in the 70s. I was born like literally months after my mom arrived, my family arrived. And so 6 kids, blue collar immigrants, we weren't living in the lap of luxury. I came from very modest beginnings. And I could say within my, like, this is just one generation in, and I'm very comfortable and I get to do a lot of things that I guess no one, including myself, ever thought I'd be doing as an adult. So why, how did that happen? Right. I went into diamond brokerage, and I don't have anyone in my family that's actually in jewelry. There's jewelry business right now. If you go into like all the old school manufacturers, they're generational. So pretty much everyone I've met in the diamond industry, they're like 5 generations or more in. So they're born into it. I have no one in my family that's ever been in the jewelry business, and I went into it. And they're almost all men, which is crazy. The thing is, I didn't care. And I gave myself the freedom to go and do what I wanted. And from that place, I created self-image. I said, this is what I want to experience. This is what I want. And I had to go back and I had to do all the things to fit into that space, to fit into that identity. And now I'm also being a coach. I never thought I'd be this. If you asked me when I was 5 and started kindergarten, what's a coach? Like, what's a mindset coach? So I had to also fit into that. And Cindy's got a great story too about, where she is at and how she became a holistic nutritionist. So the self-image is plastic, meaning that it could change. And we have an example here with Cindy. Cindy, would you like to share your example of self-image before I get everyone to start doing
Sure, I'd love to. Actually, when you were explaining, if I can take just a minute
Yeah.
to also like respond to what you said about certain people. Well, we have this innate wanting, I guess, the ego. We want to
Mhm.
be right. We want to justify our actions, right? And sometimes you may say something that you truly don't want, but because it's in your mind, you're going to act it out, and it's going to fulfill that thought. And I know someone, one of our relatives, who had a divorce in the family, and I remember she told me it was during the holidays, and she said, "This is probably going to be the last time you see me. We're going to get a divorce. I'm going to move out, and I'm pretty sure no one in the family will welcome me back. Like I won't be included in anything." So, but I didn't see it that way. I thought, hey, we'll keep in touch. I mean, we were family. Just because you're not living together with one of our family members, we could still be in touch. But she kind of like sternly said that. And after that, even though we reached out, invited her, she just never came. And I could tell there was a lot of pain in that. I'm sure she would have wanted to still be part of the family, but she kind of declared it. And it's like, oh, I guess you made it happen. You believe that no one's going to accept you after this. And it became true. But it really wasn't. Like, we all missed this person. So that was one example that really came forth when you said that. Sometimes you just say something, you kind of declare it, and you make it happen. And it's really a self-sabotage
Mhm.
based on that belief.
Absolutely. It's either direction. It's either, it's going to work for you as a positive one, or me with my milk bottle. Like, it's that declaration that you're talking about. Exactly that. It's a decision she made. And the interesting thing with what she did is that when we do our self-image, a lot of times when we have impactful events in our lives, we do a lot of storytelling,
Hmm.
or we do a lot of fortune telling, I should say. So, for instance, let's say someone doesn't answer your text in like 2 seconds. Okay. Some people might make up stories about what that is. Usually it's not good. And then they'll feel bad, and then they'll feel rejected, they'll feel unworthy. And then there's going to be a cascade of events that happen from the feeling, and then behavior is going to change, and then they're going to get upset with person, and then they're going to get into a fight. Like there's a lot of things that happen when we do that, with which you were telling me that story. There's a bit of storytelling, there's story fortune telling. Like she was thinking about you guys, and she had an idea that you guys felt a certain way, and so she made up something and then adopted it and lived it.
Hmm.
And I love that example because we do that a lot. A lot of things happen in our lives where we fill in the blanks for other people, and then we make conclusions, and from that conclusion we embody a certain version of ourselves. We deduce certain things, and then it must be because, and then we bring it back to ourselves because I'm of this and blah 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 blah, and then we live out all of our decision making from that story.
Yes.
So that's where this the self image is, but we always can change the story.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to show you my screen so you can
Yeah.
see some of the wording that I have put together. I mean, very, very basic. And it's interesting that, yes, there could be some negative seeds that were planted, but there were also very positive seeds that were planted. And when I was young, I was, always the one who spoke for people who didn't speak English. Whether it's for my parents, I would translate, bring them to the rental board, even at a very young age, or from kindergarten. If there was a kid that needed help, I would go to the teacher. And so it was ingrained in me that I'm outgoing, that so these are some of those affirmations that go on. So here are some positive ones. I'm open to learning. I work well under stress. I love sharing knowledge. I am compassionate. I'm able to access power from the divine. I have faith that things will work out for me. And those are some of the things too. So, but then there are some of the negative stuff that I say, and it's not like I really believe in it. It's like saying I'm getting old, but I'm only 40 something. So I'm not really old. And there are people in their 60s, 70s, 80s that are in really great shape. But if I feel like I'm getting tired or, aches and pains in my body, I'll say I'm getting old, but it's just because society says that. It's like such a common expression, but it's not true. So there's that. And then there's this common thing like I'm tired, and I get up in the morning, first thing. And this is kind of the old me. And I've caught myself saying that and I've changed it. So, first thing in the morning, one example is I'm tired. I don't know how I can get through the day. And then
Mhm.
to restructure that, I've been saying I wake up with abundance. I feel great, or I'm excited for the day. And sometimes it's halfway to the washroom where I catch myself and I'm like, wait a minute. No, I'm happy for the day. I'm excited for the day. And I feel the energy change just like
Yes.
in repeating those words.
That's really good. And I'm going to ask you though, what originated that original I'm tired, I don't know how I'm going to get through the day? Is it dread for what the day's bringing? Is it too much stuff that's you need to do? There's something that's happening that made you think that to begin with. There's a core belief happening. So that's, if you can identify that, then we can switch that around from the core. It will make it much easier for you to use, to get the new narrative coming out of there instead of
Um,
forcing.
yeah, sometimes just feeling there's a lot to be done,
Okay.
and like whether it's or sometimes just not knowing, um, like not having a good plan, for example. So I feel it's a
Mhm.
bit overwhelming or unclear what the day will
Okay.
be like. And just a lot of times also because I've been sleeping late, so I do feel tired, but I know sometimes it's just this initial habit of thinking.
Mhm.
Hmm.
If I if I called you at 5 o'clock in the morning and told you that you won, like,
The
I don't know,
lottery.
$1 million, how would that do for your energy?
Yeah, no, you're right. If I woke up and it was a day to like go to a wedding or I don't know, like some kind of fun event,
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't think that, oh, I don't know what I'm gonna do, get through the day. Probably wouldn't have the same energy.
Yeah. So it's the idea that the dread and not having something to look forward to. So when you wake up in your morning and you don't feel that there's good things in that day for you, then that's a resistance. So fatigue is actually, I mean, yes, we do wear out. I mean, there's so many days when I'm physically tired, but I keep going because there's something I'm doing that's it's really feeding me and I love. Even if I'm physically tired, I just don't want to go to bed because I just keep on wanting to do whatever. Like if it's like let's say a book, I'm really into a book and I want to read it from cover to cover. I don't care. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to stay up. I'm going to read the whole book. So the
Yeah.
energy level um, comes from looking forward to something. So for you, it could be the narrative that's different, right?
Yeah.
That my day has beautiful surprises waiting for me, and I don't have to get everything done at once. My day will flow easily, and it will flow as it needs to, and I will get everything done in due time that I need to get done.
I will get everything done in due time.
Yeah, meaning that everything will get done when it needs to be done, because you can prioritize and things that aren't that important will wait, but you don't all have to get everything done. And there's also maybe a perfectionism aspect also linked to it that um, you have to be perfect.
Hmm.
So it sounds like the things that you need to do are maybe not for yourself. They're just
Hmm.
tasks that need to be completed.
Right.
So and they're not fun stuff. It's usually when it's not fun, it usually means you have to do this for somebody else,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I wanted to do. I want to get like to the core of why you had the original statement.
Hmm.
And then it makes the new statement, the new belief so much easier when you understand why you even had the first one because it came from somewhere.
Yeah.
There was a belief that created a feeling and then the thought came. And then
And
your
what
behavior.
happens when it is a physical ailment, like some people who are ill, and what's happening with my voice? So, one of the things that I would say is that I have, even before I had the injury, I had a very soft voice. So I would often say to myself, like the old version would be like, nobody could hear me and it doesn't matter anyway. Like, because over time, when people can't hear you, you just feel like, well, whatever I say doesn't matter anyway. So, like, doesn't matter. I'll just not talk. So, there's that kind of recurring thought sometimes, but it's due to an actual ailment. It's not really, so I wanted to replace that with I speak easily and freely. And for some people out there who are having trouble walking or having trouble doing certain things because there's aches and pains in the body, they could
Mm.
switch it, but they're still feeling that pain. So how do you know, change it in a way where you could really get that result and, not feel the resistance as much?
Okay. So first, there is a belief system that is tied in with a self-image. When you go into the work, there needs to be a belief that the new narrative is the new reality. So when you're having this ailment, my body is, I am healed and I am fine. My body is just catching up.
Hmm.
When I speak my truth, I speak with honesty, and the right person is going to hear my words.
The right person.
Right. My message will be heard by the right person. So
Hmm.
um, when you speak, not maybe everyone will resonate with your message, with whatever you're saying. But when it hits the right person, that person will acknowledge what you say, and it will be important. I actually had a feeling a little bit about the voice thing, that the softness and then the straining is um, sometimes what we only feel is physical can be part of a self-image. I mean, you revealed
Mm.
something a little bit before about not being heard and what you say is not important or people won't listen to you or hear you.
Yeah.
So I don't know like your all of your history, but was when you're young, maybe there were moments where when you spoke, you're dismissed, not validated. And so you have a belief system where when you speak up or when you have something important to say, you are ignored, or you're made to feel like what you have to say is not important.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this battle between wanting to speak and wanting to give your expression, but the constraint you have, the tightness, is the holding back because it's like useless anyway. I want to speak, I want to express myself, but it's useless anyway because no one's going to hear me, no one's going to listen to me, and they don't think what I have to say is important. So I'm putting it out there that you might want to explore this aspect of why your vocal cords are tight.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to speak freely, and your voice should, like when you want to raise your voice, you should be actually be able to just blow it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when I speak, I am heard. I am heard by the right people, and my words have importance and they're relevant. And I understand that my words will only be effective and received by the person that needs it. So it's okay if some people don't hear you, um, but but you want to get the right people. You
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be everybody, but the right people.
Yes,
The
I like
message
that.
has, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I like that redirecting of the message, meaning what I do say will be resonating with the right people. It doesn't have to be with everyone, and I don't really need to exert that much effort because there is effort in there. This whole straining, there's an effort, and I could trace back to, childhood. For example, we lived in a very noisy home with aunts. They all lived together. We were like 7 people, very, very noisy environment. And a lot of times the kids would be told to be quiet so the adults could talk. I still remember going into the kitchen when people are, cooking. My dad was there and they would just be like, go away. It's not time to talk right now. And all of that. And so, yeah, I mean, but I know a lot of people have had similar, experiences as children to be hush, like seen and not heard kind of thing. But I guess it's the personality, like what really affects, the person
Yeah,
long
for
term.
sure. Um, you have to be in harmony with what's happening. So let's say if you truly believe something, like you know you're smart and someone tells you you're an idiot, you just be like, okay, whatever. Like that
Mm-hmm.
will roll right off you, right? Because you're
Yeah.
not actually in harmony with it. You're not jumping on the bandwagon and believing what they're telling you. But when we do adopt things, when someone tells us something negative, it could be one very impactful event or repeated. There's some kids that come from families where they're repeatedly told they're not smart enough, or they're not smart as their older brother, or not as smart as their sister, or as cute, or whatever. Not, you know what I mean? They're always made to feel less, and they believe it, even though they have a certain genius. They're being compared, and then they shrink because they don't feel like they measure up.
Mm-hmm.
But some people, they don't care. They don't care. I was very fat when I was a kid, but I didn't care. I honestly didn't care. They used to call me fats. I had all kinds of nicknames when I was young, but I didn't care. I was like the most like happy, fun, outgoing kid out there, but it didn't matter because I didn't care what they said. I was just happy, and I was one of the happiest kids in my family, just singing all the time. So this, I just want to draw the example of what we just did here with Cindy, is that self-image is pretty deep work.
Mm-hmm.
And we get into this in our program, a 6-month program, and it's you have to get into the harmony, as I say, with the idea that first off, you can rewrite your life, you can rewrite your story. Everything that you believe right now about you is a story, literally. And you can change that. When you come in as a baby, you don't have a story. You come in, your whole self-image is feed me, love me, clean me, and you have no problems asking for all of that because you have no blocks. There's nothing in you that tells you, well, you're not good enough to be fed. You're lousy, you're dumb, you're whatever. You don't deserve to be fed. Right? You come in this world like, feed me now, like I'm hungry. So along the way, we get this belief system for certain things, these filters that we live by that tell us, what we can or cannot ask for out of life, right? It's like you live in this bubble, and this bubble has like a million little openings that allow good and bad things in, and your belief system opens or shuts these little valves all over the place. So if you don't believe you're worthy and all those good things that you've ever wanted, you just shut them all off because you think, I don't deserve those things, from stories that you've been told. But it's okay. We're here, we're doing self-image, and whatever it is doesn't work for you in that exercise I just told you to write 2 or 3 things. These are anything that's not working for you is not your truth anyway. Because the truth is we're all deserving of abundance and happiness and joy and love. All this deserve friendship, camaraderie, good relationships, abundance. We all deserve all those things. But things that we believe always shut those little things off, right? Why doesn't someone, if I give you a set of twins and they both come from abusive families, the one abusive family, and one son goes off and has a great life, and the other one is like a drug addict. Why? They're twins, same household, same environment. Why does one thrive and then the other one goes into demise? Right? Is what they have adopted, what they've chose to adopt, and that's how they've written their life. And it's true about every person that is alive. We all have exposure to certain things, and you have to be in harmony with those things or not, right? So I just want to invite quickly, if there's anybody who wants to try this or want to share an example or two and have me do a hands-on help. Anyone?
I noticed Alexandra had a question earlier in the chat.
Okay.
Not sure if they still want us to ask the question, or anybody else who wants to share their self-image beliefs that who want to work on it a bit.
Alexandra, do you have a question that you want to ask? No? Oh, yes.
I kind of looked at the question and I kind of answered it on my own, so I deleted it.
Oh, I see.
Because
Okay.
at some point you were talking about, I don't even remember what I asked.
Holding back. Is holding back a matter of
Holding back and resistance actually means that you lack belief.
Yeah, you lack faith.
You lack the faith. So that was my question. Yeah. It was just worded differently. I hadn't heard it that way, so I wanted to clarify, but I figured it out. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I have a very, very quick one. If nobody wants to share, but I have a very quick one that's been nagging at me.
Okay.
And it has to do with leadership.
Okay.
Because oftentimes we're thinking, like me anyway, because I'm the oldest, I don't want to be called bossy. I was always put in charge. I don't like the word bossy. So I shy away through the years to become the leader. And I have been put in leadership positions, like a manager in a corporate company. But I didn't feel like I could really step into the role because I was so afraid to be called bossy. And it's been something that I've been, even as I am now with my kids, I can't discipline them because there's a part of me that's like, I don't know, I'm not their boss. Like I don't know if there's a misinterpretation of the word leadership, because now, leadership could be just serve as a person of service, right? It's kind of taken a different definition, someone who leads by example, someone who helps people succeed. You can be a leader in many ways. But in the old days, what I interpreted was a leader is somebody who may be very bossy, like, the manager or the boss. And I find that it kind of blocks me sometimes when I want to assert myself. I just don't want to come across to be bossy.
Well, what's the consequence though of being bossy? What was the consequence?
That really is not liked.
Yeah. Okay. You could change your narrative. I lead with love, and everything I do with good intentions, and they are understood and acknowledged by the people that I lead.
That's good.
Like yeah. So the idea is to not be fearful of bad, negative consequences to your leadership.
Okay.
Does that help you?
Yeah.
You lead with love, you lead with good intentions, and the people receiving your leadership acknowledge that and appreciate it.
And what do we do with this new script when we redefine that? Do we just affirm it like several times a day, or when we catch ourselves saying the old narrative, we then reaffirm with the new one?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is to say these things in when your brain is going between states. So when you're going from awake to not awake, when you're going to bed, and then when you're coming from awake state to I mean your sleep state to your wake state. So your brain is actually changing its brain waves, and you're very vulnerable at those times. So it's a time where I guess you can call it hypnosis, and you can say those things when you're kind of half in, half out. You could record it, and you could say it, say it with passion and emotion as much as you can, because I want you to embody it, right? This is all about embodying. So it means being in harmony with whatever it is you're trying to reprogram your new ideal, your new beliefs.
Okay.
So it's kind of like affirmations. Anyone who knows about affirmations, just saying it out loud is not good enough. You have to actually have to be emotional. You have to connect with it. You have to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I had a question.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Oh, I was just wondering, like, what are some of the strategies if, let's say, you're stuck on how to rewrite the script? Like, the meditation was excellent because it kind of puts you in a relaxed frame. But what happens if, like, you're really stuck on how to change a certain specific
Okay. So if
item?
there's something, first, when you identify exactly what it is that you want to change, try spinning it in the opposite. So if the feeling is like I was working with Cindy just now with her issue with leadership, the feeling was her fear of not being liked. So there is a threat of losing a relationship and not being appreciated for what she is doing. So to write it, the goal is to identify now what is the new feeling or the new goal you want to achieve. So Cindy wants to be a leader. She wants to be able to step into what's natural to her without losing relationships. She wants to be appreciated, not hated. So then your words can come out that way. I speak with authenticity, and I lead with good intentions, and people will appreciate her and love her for those things, for how she leads. So whatever your issue is, go into the opposite of what your goal is, to what you want to achieve. So do you want to give an example, Diane, of what that might be?
No, I think I see what it's like you kind of like really have to think about like the opposite.
Yeah, so what's the
I
goal?
get it.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the goal you're
Yeah.
heading for? What's the effect that you want?
Yeah.
And then we dial back, and then we write out the narrative to achieve that
Yeah.
effect. The narrative is always in a positive form, and it's always stated in the present. So now, I am, or whatever, it always has to be in the present, and not I will do this, or I will, or I'll try. Those are indefinite, and it'll lead you to a place where it might not ever happen. You're not claiming that space for yourself. So you need to claim it. Just like the example Cindy gave about her aunt and my milk. I just claimed, I said, this is not what it is. I am a big girl now, and I don't drink from a bottle. So you literally have to claim this new narrative for yourself. Does that help?
Yeah. 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 Thank you.
You're welcome. So Amanda, you have your hand up. How may I help you?
Hi. I feel like one that I keep struggling with and going back to, and through our course too, and working on the self script, is how from a young age, like I'm the oldest granddaughter on my mom's side, and always been, but also from having been told, like, you are the oldest, like you're the caretaker, be responsible, like everyone's like you're the role model, everyone's looking up to you, take care of everyone, like keep everyone safe. And that has definitely become so much of just who I am. It's what feels natural to me, but also it has gone to a point where it has exhausted me. So now working on finding that balance of like it feels authentic to be a caretaker, but also needing to take care of myself first, like where that has been put too much on the back burner. So how do you get that good sense of the mix between like it is authentic that I am those things, but not to let it get to the point where it's bad for me, for myself?
Okay, so the goal right now is to go into a space where one, they're your priority. So you want to set the priority. You're the priority, right? You, your kids, your family, your unit first, and then you can move outward from there.
Mm, okay.
So you're not responsible for everybody, but you're responsible most first off to yourself. I want you to set the priority first of your responsibilities. So you're responsible first for yourself, then it moves into your kids, your husband, like your household, and then everyone outside that household.
Okay. Kind of do my own hierarchy of needs with me
And
at the
whatever
top.
that
And
is,
once
yeah,
that's
yeah,
met, I can.
yeah, whatever that is, it's just an example.
So I'm the primary caretaker of myself.
Oh.
I am responsible for myself first, and then blah 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 blah. You can add on. I allow those that I love the power to take care of themselves. Because when you're constantly running and taking care of everybody, you're literally not giving them the opportunity to step up from themselves too.
Yeah.
Okay. So you allow the people you love the opportunity to step up and take responsibility for themselves. And my role in their lives is to give them the support they need while they're doing it. And I do it with love and with the best of my intentions. And our relationship grows stronger and stronger as we mutually respect each other's space and boundaries. Something to that effect.
Really good. Thank you. I wish I had my little recording button for like that little segment because my hand cannot keep up, but that was perfect. Thank you.
He's recording it. Yeah, you will. So yeah, so when you're doing this work, when you're setting a new dynamic for yourself, find the goal. What's the goal? What do you want to achieve in this new dynamic? What is this new life that you want, in this area? So you want more freedom to take care of yourself and give the freedom to other people to take care of themselves. You're not responsible for everybody, actually. Everyone is responsible for themselves, but we, as a family or friends, we do offer support because we are in relationship with them. We love these individuals and we want to offer them support. Yeah. But that allows you space for yourself, space for your family, and you're not over giving all the time. Because there is a point where, and I've experienced it myself, where your well is dry, right? You're giving so much that you have nothing left for yourself. And that's a really dangerous place to be. Health-wise, mental health, physical health. So self-image, the grand scope of the self-image is to create a life that is happier, that is healthier. Because when you're not living your own truth, when you're living in a space where you're not happy, it's usually because you're not living your own truth. You're not being authentic. You're living out someone else's ideals on you. So when, let's say, someone insults you or demeans you, degrades you, whatever it is, or a situation in your life is difficult and you've taken on, a lot of negative emotions from the event and it affects your life, those aren't your truths, and you need to let those things go, right? People hurt people all the time, whether it's intentional or not. It happens because our perspective of, from where we're from or whatever, we take things on, and if we hold on to them too long and let them affect us too much, it will affect our self-esteem, our self-confidence, and it'll change the narrative of our self-image to unworthy, unlovable, all those things that, they're not true. Everyone deserves respect. Everyone deserves love, no matter what issue you've ever come up in life, no matter who said anything to you, whatever event that's happened to you. I mean, I've had divorce, I've had miscarriages, I've all kinds of things in my life that happened. Some people might crawl under a rock and just stay there and rot. It's not where that's not where I want to be. That's not my life, right? Things happen, so you cry, whatever, you beat your pillow up, whatever. And then what next? What do I want? Because I'm not staying here. Oh, self-image is having the resilience to not cave in to old ideals, other people's ideals, cultural ideals. We have things from our culture, our society, all things are being fed to us that have infiltrated us and have caused us to adopt certain beliefs in ourselves and how we need to function. Like women have certain ideals of how we're supposed to fit into society, how you fit in a family, like Amanda and Cindy, where you are, your position in a family, and there are expectations on you. And they're placed on you from when probably the very day you're born. And you don't even sometimes even know that's really you. You've lived it so long. Maybe it's not really authentically you. We don't know. But you can always change it. If it doesn't work for you anymore, just change it. The self-image work is really profound, and it's a work in progress for everyone, and it's something you're going to do for the rest of your life. Now you have a tool. Honestly, there's something you decided you want in your self-image, didn't work out the way you thought it would, don't like it anymore, switch it up. That easy. No fear, have faith.
We're a few minutes past 1. I don't know if you want to take one more question.
Sorry. So the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is for the self-image thing, for the overall health aspect. There's a health aspect that comes with self-image, and that is the chronic stress that comes from living in your truth and happiness. So I just want to lead into Cindy, because Cindy's the health expert, and that's why I've teamed up with her to do our program. It's our detox program, and we talk about self-image actually very extensively, and Cindy helps with all the holistic nutrition to support us during the transition. So Cindy, I'll just let you.
I was just going to say very quickly, thank you again for coming. And what you just saw was just a snippet of what we do on Thursdays. And we've been doing this in the Life Detox program. And it's a program, if you look at the QR code, if you have a phone, you can just, hover over the QR code on the screen and see the webpage with more details. But it's a 6-month program that we offer, alternating between nutrition, detox, supporting your elimination organs. We even go into tapping, lymphatic massage, and then there's a very core aspect of self-image and affirmations, and really going deep into your programming, the inner works of the programming. So it's a safe space for people to come together, to share, to learn from one another. And it is a way to bridge the gap between the medical community that addresses mental health versus, what you can do for yourself. So it bridges that gap. And I just find it's a fantastic program. Fondy, I don't know if you want to go into it a little bit, but we do have a nice discount code that you can use if you want to check that out in the month of August.
Yeah, so normally this program, we would normally price it at $5,000, and we have a special code right now for you on my screen where you see it's purple. So there's a 25% discount for only the people that are signed up here today. So that link is only for you. Okay, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us if you need any more details. This is good for until September 3rd, because Cindy's teaching next week. Cindy's teaching the health segment of the detox program. And so Cindy has actually put also the link in the chat box if you want to click on that. If you have any questions right now, does anyone have any questions about anything? I'm open. Comments?
And also, if you want to reach us, like if you want to discuss, get some coaching from Fondy, you can reach her directly. Or if you need help with, your health, nutrition, meal plans, you can also reach me directly. Diane, did you have something to share?
No, not at this time.
Okay, great.
Just that it's been a fantastic hour. So it's right there, just nice spending time, on thinking about these things. So I thank you both.
Thank you for coming. I really appreciate you guys. An awesome hour. Lunch and learn.
Yes.
All right.
Really enjoyed it too.
So You guys, I wish you guys a happy day. If you guys have any questions about what we've done, you know where to reach us. There's links here on the healthandprosperity.com website, and you can just actually scan that on the QR code on top there. All right. So we're good for today. Don't forget to come next week. So next Friday at noon, Cindy is presenting the health segment. And you do not want to miss this because Cindy is excellent. Cindy is amazing. She's on my dream team, and I've learned so much. She's helped me so much. I have to tell you, have great changes in my physical health from all her recommendations. And Cindy loves what she does, and she endeavors to, really tailor her work to everything that you would need. Like honestly, she's amazing, and she does everything with heart, completely.
Thank you so much, Fondy. Yeah, I look forward to seeing you all next Friday. I'm going to talk about nourishing your gut-brain connection because there is a connection between your digestion and your mental health. So I'm going to go deep into that next Friday. Thank you very much, everyone.
And everybody, thank you so much. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Thanks, Fondy. That was a great session.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day. Thank you. I'll be sending out a thank you note with the links as well. I'll send that out after. Thank you, Marquis. Hope you have a nice day.